Hi everyone, welcome to Brown Girls Happy Hour, where you make drinks with two brown girls. This is your host Kathy Thakur.
And this is your host Daman Tivana making quarantine drinks with you. Today we are making whiskey suffragettes, which is a take on whiskey sour inspired by women's suffrage.
An old school whiskey sour is made with white eggs, but we are not using white eggs today. Instead, the ingredients that we are going to be using today are you will need a bourbon, some lemon juice, a little bit of simple syrup, lemon wedge, and a cherry. Now, let's go ahead and show you the recipe.
So this is whiskey suffragette. Cheers!
Cheers.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
And really easy too.
I know.
And like I said, this is a take on whiskey sour. And usually with sours of any kind have an egg in it. And the recipe also mentioned it optional that you can add an egg if you want to. But I think this is a good option without egg because I'm not very keen on putting raw eggs in things. But
Yeah.
unless like a bartender makes it behind my back, I'm okay with that.
And this drink is actually called whiskey suffragette, and it is inspired by women's suffrage movement, which is kind of like so sad because you are paying taxes, you're included in that, you are responsible for all the economic and all the socio-economic advancement of the country, but you're not allowed to decide who your leader should be.
But we have to see how interesting that thing was too. Like, yeah, every person was contributing to the socio-economic setup, but women were held down by the whole system in a way that they could not own property, they could not own anything.
Yeah.
Even if they were like sole heirs to their parents' business or whatever, let's say, it would still go to their husband's name.
Right.
So it was a very, oppressive setup that even if women had anything, it would just go to their husbands or be their fathers or then go to their sons.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's also like, not only women, I feel like a lot of other minorities in the US were actually, stopped from voting because voting was strictly restricted to like property withholdings and then race, gender, and, things like that. So like African Americans, women, or even like poor white men were not allowed to vote because they couldn't hold property, right?
Yeah. So I think even today it's kind of the same. Like, look at the person who's sitting in power, a rich white man.
Yeah.
Who is he helping get all the tax rebates? Other white men.
Yes. Other rich white men.
Yeah. And like poor white men are probably not getting the advantage. Women are probably not getting the advantage. Other races are definitely not getting any advantage. So, I think this country hasn't really progressed so much as much they like to say they have.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very easy to say like we are the biggest democracy, and like I think the same thing India also does, that we are the biggest democracy. Just because you have the population numbers doesn't make you a democracy. Look at what you actually do.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's interesting that we are making this drink today because only yesterday I got to know that one of my friends from college, she moved here to Sunnyvale recently, like I think 5 years ago, and now she's standing for a local election. Yeah, and it's very interesting. And then I started looking at like how do you stand in the local election as an immigrant? But she is not an immigrant; she got her green card. Then I got to know that San Francisco is going to be the first largest city in the US to let non-immigrants vote in the November elections, like in the local elections in November. I know. I was like, that is so interesting. And it also makes sense, right? Like we are living here, we are contributing to the same thing, right? We are contributing to the economy, the culture, and everything. So why shouldn't we?
Especially Bay Area, like it's predominantly immigrants. So why shouldn't we decide on who's making the policies that are going to affect us?
Exactly. And people say that there are people who say that if Trump does not allow immigrants to enter or asks all the immigrants to leave, the companies will come down and it'll affect the economy of the US a lot. So then if that is the case, if that is even true, why not let us decide who should come in power? Because I feel like if immigrants had the right to vote, I think Trump...
Because it works for them, Kathy. Like, they take the money, they take so much tax from us compared to how much citizens pay, and they keep us under their thumb still.
I know. It's very sad. And I feel like that's why I can't... I don't relate to US, even if I've lived here for 5-6 years now. I can't call, I can't be like, this is the country that I want to live in, because I know that I can't make decisions here, the big decisions that actually matter.
How many decades are we supposed to keep our heads down until we get to a position where we can have a say? And if you live your life like this, you just get into habit of keeping your head down, then you just stop caring.
Yeah, you're right. That just demotivates me, especially
and especially what happens every day now. We hear these news, right? One executive order after the other, just targeting immigrants, right? And you know what? I just want to say it's your loss.
Yeah, exactly. It is their loss. Now do you see all the heads of the big corporations like Google, Microsoft, and so many startups that are coming up that are contributing to the economy are immigrants. They came as immigrants. They became
immigrants. They went after students now, right? They're the ones who pay you money.
I know.
Right? And that's why Harvard, MIT and all these actually went after the current administration, because they know that's how they make money, from immigrants. And
exactly.
It's sad that money talks, and that's why they revoked that thing, because all these big schools were like, no, you can't.
Of course,
we can't make money without them.
Yeah, exactly. That's very sad, but I don't know. I feel like San Francisco has taken the right step towards this, and I hope other states follow soon.
And that's why I think it's very important at this point that we also speak to our listeners, and everybody speaks to whoever their followers are, to encourage everyone to go out and vote. This is a very crucial time. We have to act towards what's right.
Yes, I totally agree. Please go out and vote if you have the right to vote. It's very, very, very important. It affects your lives. It affects lives of people around you. It affects the lives of your loved ones, everyone. So please go out and vote.
And just be an informed citizen. Stay up to date on what's happening in the country. And on that note, I also like that Marilee Christine wrote in the book that also be an informed drinker. It's not just a right, it's a privilege. And I think even though she said it jokingly, it applies to our constitutional rights as well, of any place we live in.
Yeah, I agree. With great power comes great responsibility. And on that note, if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Cheers!